sweet, creamy rice pudding. If you hadn't had it, you gotta try it. Old school dessert, y'all. Let's go. So I'm starting off with just some regular long grain rice. You can choose whatever rice you like. I chose long grain for the main reason why I had it in my cabinet. Why not? Okay, so I'm gonna just go with 1.5 cups of uncooked long grain rice. If I can get it in this cup here, y'all. Getting 1.5 cups will do just fine for this recipe. Okay, so I like to kind of rinse my rice just a little bit, just to get a little bit of what the factory may have left on the rice. I might be a little paranoid in doing this, but I don't care. Hey y'all, better safe than sorry. Just give it a quick rinse. Just to make sure you got all the little extras rinsed off of there. Because we want to start off with some nice clean rice. Okay, so we're going to pour that over in the pot, y'all. 1.5 cups of rice will call for roughly about 4 cups of water. Now, a lot of people use 3 cups of water. I recommend 4 full cups of water just to give the rice a little bit more room to expand. I tend to find that 3 cups just isn't quite enough. So 4 cups, that's what we're going to roll with today. You're going to go in with 1 stick of butter. Now I have a little bit more butter just because I like butter, but 1 stick will do you just fine. Salted butter. We're going to go in with 1 teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of salt will work just fine because we want to give this rice a really good flavor before we add all the sweet goodness. You want some good flavor to your rice, y'all. Okay, so we're going to bring this to a really good, nice high boil, y'all. We're going to get that butter all nicely melted into this rice here before we begin to turn the eye down, making sure it's really nice and melted first. Okay, so it's nice and melted and it is boiling on high. We're going to now proceed to turn it down just a little bit. We're going to get it between medium to low heat because we don't want the water to dry out and evaporate before that rice is good and tender. So now I have it on that medium to low heat here. And that's going to give it time to cook real good. Again, you don't want the water to dry out and be completely gone before that rice has tenderized. We're going to put that lid on it and let it work, y'all. Okay, so we're going to come back in probably, I want to say about 10 minutes later, just to give it a good stir to see how it's coming along, making sure it's not cooking too fast. Oh yeah, it's cooking nice and even here. And you can just tell by looking at it how rich and delicious this rice is going to be. All right, we're going to put that lid back on. It shouldn't take long. This all total will take about 15 to 20 minutes for this rice to cook, y'all. So I'm going in here. Now this is about the consistency you want for your rice. See, there is a lot of butter and little liquid still in here, but you're going to turn the eye off because it's going to continue to evaporate and soak in all the rest of that water and butter without letting it continue to cook. That is perfect. Turn it off now. Turn it off now. You don't want it to keep cooking. All right, so it has set on the stove about an additional 5 minutes, and as you can see, it has absorbed all that butter and all that extra water. So when I say turn it off, please, by all means, it has cooked plenty long enough. Now you're going to put it in a 9 by 12 inch casserole dish. You're going to spread it out because you want to make sure that the rice gets really nice and cool before you add the eggs and mixture to it. Okay, like I said, it's about a 9 by 12 inch casserole dish. It's about 4 inches deep as well. You want it deep enough because you want to have enough room for all the nice liquid that's going to go into this casserole dish. All right, so we're going to have 2 eggs. This you can put, some people put 3 eggs. I prefer 2. I feel that 2 does the trick. You don't need any more than that. You're going to whisk this up really, really good, making sure it's all nice and beat very, very well. The eggs is going to give it that extra creaminess. It's going to also kind of hold things together for you real good. All right, just keep mixing that up, y'all. Oh, this is just going to turn out so good. All right, we got 1 cup of granulated sugar, y'all. Getting all that mixed in. That's all this recipe is going to call for, that 1 cup of granulated sugar. Mix all that in. Oh man, it's coming together. This is a very simple, quick recipe, y'all. Okay, we got 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. I like to use light brown sugar because I like the texture that the brown sugar gives. It gives it that sweetness along with the molasses that's in the light brown sugar. It just gives a little bit extra moistness to the rice pudding, y'all. Okay, you're going to put 2 cans of 12-ounce cans of evaporated milk. I already put the first one in. I didn't have my camera on, but you're going to go with 2 of those cans, y'all. 2 cans of 12-ounce cans of evaporated milk. You're going to get that all whisked in, nice and blended well. It's already starting to smell so good. You're going to go in with 1 cup of regular milk. I normally use whole milk, but I only had 2% milk, so that's going to work for me today. And if that's all you have, that'll be just fine too. Skim milk will work just fine. Not going to mess up the recipe at all. You're going to go with 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I'm putting 2 tablespoons because I use imitation. Most like pure. 2 teaspoons is going to do the job. Okay, we're going to mix that all in because you got to have that vanilla. Give it that nice, good flavor that you're looking for. Please don't skip out on that, y'all. Got to put that ingredient in here. All right, so you're going to go with not a half teaspoon. I'm all over the place. It is a 4th teaspoon, just a 4th teaspoon of cinnamon. You don't want too much cinnamon. No full teaspoon, just a 4th teaspoon of cinnamon will do the trick. Okay, on the nutmeg, because you want to have a little spice to your rice pudding, you're just going to put about an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, just to give it just a little spice and just a little bit of that kick to make it just over the top. This is turning out so good. All right, so right here you want to make sure that your rice has completely cooled. So I give it a little stir, and you can probably see a little steam still coming up from it. So I just kind of stir it from the bottom, kind of making sure that it's still not too hot. Again, I'm pouring that eggs mixture on it, so I don't want the rice too warm when I put it on there. But that little quick little move around is all you're gonna need. All right, so we're gonna pour your mixture on top. Again, it is so simple. This is a delicious, simple rice pudding recipe, y'all. It is so simple to make and oh so delicious. You're going to take that spoon, making sure you're stirring the rice from the bottom of the casserole dish, making sure it's all nicely stirred into your custard mixture, y'all. All right, just getting it all stirred in and everything so it incorporated real nice and good here, y'all. Okay, so right now I'm just taking a whisk, just kind of chop it around because some of the rice had kind of clumped together and you don't want it to bake like that. You want it to bake nice and even, and you don't want any clumps in your bread pudding. So just take a little whisk and that will do the job. All right, so I always bake my casserole, my rice pudding, or most things for that matter, on another pan, just in case that there's spillage. Now this casserole dish is plenty deep enough, you don't really have to worry about that. You're gonna bake it on 350 for about 1 hour and 15 minutes, y'all. Yes, 1 hour and 15 minutes. Now, as you can see, it has come out. It has baked 1 hour and 15 minutes. As you can see, it is very loose. You're like, oh wow, that's not done, because most recipes call for taking it out when it doesn't have any jiggle. I completely go against that. You want a creamy rice pudding. You don't want a rice cake, right? So you're going to put it out because it is going to continue to thicken up. Just baking it just gives you an easier way to make rice pudding. You're not baking it to make it very, very stiff. You still want a stovetop consistency, but baking it just makes it that much easier to make. So make sure you take it out when it's still nice and loose. All right, so here is when I add the raisins. Now, you don't have to add raisins to yours. I don't like adding raisins to my bread pudding, but I love adding raisins to my rice pudding. It takes it over the top. I got to have it in there. So right here, you're putting in as much as you like or as little as you like. You can be as generous as you like. Again, you can add craisins, whatever you want. Some people add pineapples. I really don't care for pineapples in my rice pudding. But hey, do what you like. It's yours. Add whatever you like. I'm pretty sure it will turn out delicious and just wonderful, y'all. All right. So I love the raisins and I gotta have mine in there, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna just stir it all in here, y'all. As you can see, it's already beginning to thicken up some. Again, I like my rice pudding creamy. Although it's baked, I still like it nice and creamy. So please take it out at that hour and 15 minutes, or just making sure it's still a very, very creamy consistency. Again, the longer it sits, it is going to continue to thicken. Okay, so now we're just going to kind of smooth it out a little bit. If you want to get it a little bit more brown on top, you're free to put it back in the oven for a little while. I am done. This is the consistency I want. All right, y'all, look at that. That turned out wonderful, y'all. It's so creamy, so sweet, so delicious, y'all. I gotta take a bite of this. See how easy that was, y'all? Now let me take this bite. Oh my goodness, y'all, it is so good. I hope you all try this recipe out, and thank y'all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.